If you are waiting for the new Mazda CX-70, this update is for you. Last week, Mazda's new boss was speaking of the upcoming CX-70 and future electrification. And in this car vid, we're going to look at what he said, some things we knew and some things we didn't know. More car vids! What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, and this is a quick Mazda news update on the CX-70. I guess the last official update from the channel was back in June when we just found out that the CX-70 would not be arriving in the fourth quarter of this year. And that, in fact, is what Mazda North America's new CEO, Tom Donnelly, echoed in his recent interview with Automotive News. It will not be this year, but it will be next year. Although there was a little bit of wiggle in his words, he didn't share exactly when it will be coming out. My speculation is that it will follow suit with the CX-50 in 22, the CX-90 earlier this year. We will also see the CX-70 in that March, April, spring timeframe. Now, you may remember a few conversations on the continued growth of Mazda as a whole in the USA, planning for 500,000 units of sales by 2025. 95,000 of that, roughly or loosely, will be the CX-90. 30,000 of that will be the new two-row CX-70. The 2025 Mazda CX-70, the first CX-70 next spring, will have the same three powertrains that we see in the CX-90. The first one, of course, that's been getting a lot of attention recently is the plug-in hybrid. This is a 2.5 liter paired with a larger motor and larger battery than the other two powertrains, and gets roughly 20 to 25 miles on full EV depending on charge levels. Paired with that motor, gets 323 horsepower and the max torque for any powertrain to actually get 369 pound-feet of torque. And this, of course, is with premium fuel. So it's exciting for the power, but also very successful thus far in the CX-90 and will continue to be a success in the CX-70. A matter of fact, this plug-in hybrid sales are actually outperforming original projections, which were 25%. So they are looking at increasing production on this specific powertrain to match the demand in this country. And while the plug-in's fantastic, we all want to zoom in an Inline 6, and that's why Mazda gives us two powertrain options of Inline 6. The standard turbo gets 280 horsepower with 332 pound-feet of torque on regular fuel, and the upgraded Turbo S goes to 340 horsepower with 369 pound-feet of torque with premium fuel. That's the same engine, just retuned or tuned differently on the Turbo S, and all three powertrains are rear-wheel drive first with a new 8-speed transmission, wet clutch or multi-clutch transmission that allows us to get great fuel economy and enjoy the shifting for some zoom fun. Now, as we already mentioned, the new CX-70 will be a two-row mid-size crossover, which means that it'll have a max capacity of 5 passengers, and as we already speculated on the channel, it will be the exact same dimensions as the CX-90. So that means if you think back to the original CX-7, it had 5 passengers with a lot of cargo room, and the new CX-70 will have 5 passengers with the best in class, according to today's metrics and competitors, the best in class rear cargo capacity. I found the official document that actually Motor One shared just a few days ago back in a February financial report release, and it says the CX-70 is a two-row model with the same body, as Mazda has only offered 3-row seats in midsize SUVs. By offering both 2-row and 3-row SUVs, Mazda intends to increase its coverage, volume, and mix of midsize SUVs, and we have high hopes for this new product in the next fiscal year. And we have high hopes for the CX-70 as well, with those who don't need a third row but would appreciate extra cargo and the same beautiful styling and availability that we have in the CX-90. We can't forget a tweet from Mazda USA. They did mention that the CX-70 would have unique traits differing from the CX-90. So it will be exciting to see, and unfortunately we don't have any information on that. The dimensions will be the same, but I'm still crossing my fingers for a Carbon Edition CX-70. So we're going to see more electrification, more information coming soon on the CX-70, hopefully in 3 to 4 months, and maybe about 5 months, have the release in the spring of 2024 as a 25 model. If you have any additional questions or comments on CX-70 information, CX-90 information, or future electrification, drop them down below in the comments, or you can text me directly at 334-718-0504. I'll be here on the Boulevard listening for all the latest Mazda news, and I'll see you on the next one.